Oh,
You see us now.
I
Hello,
will
people.
see us now.
Hey.
You know what? I totally botched the intro. Not gonna
Yeah, you
lie.
did.
But it be
So,
like that.
guys, I mean, you can hit it now. Hit it now.
I'm not hitting it now. It's too late for all that. Welcome to RGTP. I'm your host, Lewis. And with me, as always, is the co-host Mamba. Mamba, how are you feeling today, my guy?
Tired, bro. Still tired. Too much stuff is going on in the days, man.
Me too. Me too. As you can tell, I botched the entire intro. Way too much stuff going on today. But nonetheless, when we talk about wrestling, there's always one guy we got to bring on for the opinions. Matt, all the way from Baltimore. Matt, how we doing today, my guy?
What's going on, fellas? I've missed you the last couple of weeks. Last week I had a boxing expo for one of the local boxers in Baltimore. That's 11-0 with 11 knockouts. His name's Dorian Bostic. I did his media day last Friday night, and it was the first time I've ever been in front of a camera for like a news station interviewing somebody. So that was pretty cool, man. Did a lot of networking. Got a show coming up on Sunday that's going to be live with one of my friends, Devin Wilkins. He's in children's coloring book author, and we're going to be having him on. We went to middle school together, so take a little bit of a trip down memory lane on Sunday live. I'm not sure what time yet, but that's all I got going on now, man. You know,
where can they tune in for that?
At BWATB Podcast on Twitter. I will be streaming live. I will have an announcement about the time at a later date, hopefully by tomorrow.
Awesome.
Just got to nail it down.
You heard it here first. But of course, we're going to talk some wrestling. It is Friday. There's a lot to catch up on. But we can't cover everything, sadly, because there's just not enough hours in the day.
Too many matches, man.
All the wild and insane things that are happening. But nonetheless, we're going to start with some Forbidden Door because that is the main thing headlining this weekend. I believe it's the last pay-per-view of the month. Money in the Bank will be in July to kick off the month, which should be exciting, which we'll also be talking about that in a bit. But nonetheless, the Forbidden Door has been opened. New Japan has arrived to America.
Thank you, Jay White. Thank you.
The Catalyst, Jay White, of course. But where to start? There's so many amazing matches. There's so many interesting things to talk about. And I want to get to a multi-man match. AEW has introduced the All-Atlantic Championship. I guess many can call it their version of either the Intercontinental or the United States title, whichever way you want to view the TNT and now new Atlantic Championship. Another mid-card belt to add on to their already growing collections of titles. I'm looking at you, ROH belts. But nonetheless, we had some qualifying matches that were very interesting. The men slated for this match are the Bastard Pac, who I'm very excited to see, Malachi Black, the returning Miro the Redeemer, and Tomura Ishii, who is sadly going to be replaced because he suffered a left knee injury by the Wild Rhino of the LA Dojo, Clark Connors, who I am very, very happy to see has stepped through the Forbidden Door. But nonetheless, I've already had Mama's opinion on the thought of the belt itself.
Well, it's changed. It's changed.
So, Matt, what do you feel about this new addition of yet another mid-card title added to the ranks of AEW before we talk about the match?
I'm gonna surprise you guys because I do have a tendency to shit on AEW more than I praise them. Here, I like the concept. I just don't like the name.
Okay.
Because other companies have had an Intercontinental Championship, particularly New Japan. I know they merged it with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship last year or earlier this year, but they could have made it like the Super Continental or the European Champion. I know WWE had a European Championship. That was 20 years ago. The name needs a little bit of work, and honestly, they can't go back from it because it's etched on there, but I like the concept of having your foreign talent having a championship that is solely for them, because it's I know everybody thinks that it's saturated with wrestling titles right now for AEW, but once ROH gets their own weekly show and they kind of divvy up that roster, it's not going to feel as convoluted like everybody's got a belt. So I'm actually kind of cool with it because as long as they stick to the foreign wrestler concept and they can defend it on either ROH or AEW, or even go over to New Japan and defend it, that's cool with me. I like the concept because it gives guys that aren't in a storyline something to go for.
Absolutely. Mamba, why has your
Agreed.
opinion changed?
Because New Japan guy isn't Ishii or anyone I thought. Like Connors, I've not heard of this man before until you mentioned that he was going to be in it. So now there's no way a New Japan guy's winning it. And it breaks my heart. But we'll save that for later. Miro is winning this.
I believe it's going to be Miro,
It has to be Miro,
or it's going to be Malachi Black, because I feel like he's bordering that line of where he might need some type of championship gold to legitimize the run that he's had. Even though he's had a pretty good run, even though I haven't agreed with all the booking that he's had, but I like the group that he's in. I like that. I love Brody King. I think Brody King is phenomenal. I was kind of pissed that he didn't go to WWE, but like seeing his character on TV and then seeing what he does, how he acts, how he speaks, that wouldn't have gelled with 2.0. And I can honestly say that I'm okay with that, because Brody King was more along the lines of that in between darker NXT when Karrion Kross was the champion. That would have been like perfect for him right there. But with the vibrant colors and the over the top characters and a lot less aggression on the NXT brand in terms of characters, I'm cool with it where he's at. And I love that group, man. I think they're a fantastic group. And I would like to see Malachi, even if it's a mid card. Yep. I think Miro is going to win it because he's been gone for a while, and they're just going to they gotta give him something, or he's just going to start bitching. I think Miro's at the point in his career where he's never going to be happy unless he's the main attraction, and quite frankly, he's not. He's a big dude. He's got charisma. He was fantastic for a while in WWE, but just like the case with a lot of other guys that jump ship from WWE to AEW, there's a reason why they were on the card where they were in their first company, as opposed to now, because a lot of these guys haven't really elevated past the point of where they were.
Yep.
Right. Yep. I hear everything you guys have come from. I'm slightly rooting for Pac. I'm not gonna lie.
You can say you're rooting for Pac.
You look like Pac, so
I am so rooting for Pac, man. Absolutely. It just sucks due to the fact that Death Triangle doesn't really seem to have a leader, so to speak. So
there is no leader.
And you know what I mean? So it's kind of a weird place. We'll have to see if he gets sort of his fair share of a title run. But on the Clark Connors, watching him in Best of the Super Juniors this year, very impressed. I am rather surprised that they didn't go another route and add the sort of a true New Japan wrestler, although Clark Connors is, but he's sort of
the LA dojo. It's not from the Japan dojo.
It's still the dojo.
I know it's still the dojo.
Like, so it is rather interesting choice, but like I said earlier, he is an athletic powerhouse. I think when him and Miro clash at some point during this match, he's going to get a lot of fans cheering him on and backing him up at some point during this match. But, man, I'm really rooting for Pac in this one. Wouldn't be against Miro. A lot of the reasons, it's a new belt. You have to put it on someone that's going to sort of elevate it and have a great run with the title. And once Miro gets it, he'll most likely put on some amazing matches against a bunch of the guys on the roster. Big guys, small guys, he's able to kind of work it either way. We'll see how the Redeemer storyline goes, concerning that sort of is the way it's going. But maybe go back to the TNT title, because it's been in a wonky situation lately. We'll see how Wardlow and we'll see where Wardlow and Scorpio Sky go from there. But I am on Team Pac for this, but I can absolutely see Miro winning this one.
Not to get off subject, because I want to stay on the topic of the Death Triangle for 1 second. Hear me out. It's going to sound crazy. Mamba, I know you're going to like this, though. They have no true leader. They're a very ragtag bunch. Bring Paige in to have her manage them.
That would be crazy.
Who's going to kick Alex Abrentes to the curb?
I mean, you can leave him there. But translator.
He can be the translator, but in terms of giving them clear direction and guidance, Let
A
Saraya
dark
come.
page. Yeah.
Let Saraya come in and be who she wants to be, because there's going to be an English connection with Pac,
Yep.
Yep.
and I know you got
I like
Penta and
that
Ray.
idea.
But
I
I think
love
that
Lucha Bros. All four.
They're
of
the
them.
best.
they're good, man. But I think that she would, because she's probably going to go there.
With
There's a good
Sasha.
chance.
I'm assuming Sasha's going to be not far behind.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling WWE is going to bury her in litigation, and she might have like a 3-year no compete.
Tough.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's definitely
I
something.
mean, that's for another conversation, but
Yep.
I think that in order to kind of like not only have the element of surprise, but get her on TV while she's getting cleared, if she gets cleared, and let her truly work on the mic, because she's good on the mic, and let her get these guys involved into a potential trios championship kind of thing, if they do those. Or
She also evens the odds with Julia joining
Yes.
right,
the House
That's
of Black.
great.
so you could have a House of Black and a Death Triangle feud where you got 2 women that are above average on the mic that aren't. And I think she's hurt right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Julia, I'm not too sure what she was doing lately. She was hurt for a little while. She wrestled
Yeah,
like a little while back, but we'll have to wait and see.
I think that would be a good idea. But proceed. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there.
No,
into
I
the
love that
ether.
idea. I absolutely love that idea. Another match slated. I don't even know. You know what? Zack Sabre Jr. versus the newest member of the Blackpool Combat Club, whoever it may be. Me and Mamba have already tossed some names around here and there. You look like you're ready to go, man. Who do you
I'm
think
cool.
is the
I'm
newest?
I was waiting for my man to
member?
come back.
Mamba's having some technical.
Somebody
difficulties.
decided to
Here.
FaceTime me, bro.
And be
How
like
would
that.
have you?
But this member, whoever's premiering, debuting, whatever on Sunday, is the newest member of Blackpool Combat Club.
Yep.
And also will be in the Blood and Guts match on Wednesday. So we're gonna get 2 very outstanding matches for a debut.
Yep.
Matt, who do you think the newest member is gonna be?
My head is telling me Cesaro.
That's
My heart wants Johnny Gargano.
2 for 2.
Yep.
2 We're all in agreement.
And I haven't even listened to the previous wrestling discourse unless you did it off camera.
Yeah,
Nope,
it was literally, he came out, was like, yo, I'm getting the best person I know to replace me. Man immediately texted me, Cesaro. I was like, that's what my head said.
I was just thinking when I saw the clip, I'm like, it's going to be Cesaro. Because if he would have went back to WWE, he'd have gone back by now. And Gargano is going to be in Cleveland. You know, I think that's where they're having Forbidden Door.
Chicago.
I'm sorry, Chicago. Cleveland. They're fucking awful. But yeah, he's going to be in Chicago. It's not a coincidence to me, even though he stated as such that it was.
Mamba says he believes him.
I believe him.
Well, you believe anything Gargano.
I think he's fucking lying.
He's lying through his teeth, bro.
He's lying through absolutely.
He's lying through his teeth.
But I'm cool with the fact that Candice LeRae's probably going to go with him.
What I telling you?
Yep.
And the only reason I believe they're not going to go back to WWE is because of the schedule. They just had a baby, and they have a very demanding schedule. Even in NXT, where you're pretty much going every single day, and he's at the point in his career where, I mean, if you see how Ciampa's being booked, even though it's not terrible, he's kind of like filler.
It's terrible.
It's borderline terrible, but I think they're just putting him on TV to get him on in front of a normal audience before they decide that they're going to give him a viable storyline. That's just me, but I think it's going to be Cesaro. I just got that gut feeling that it is Cesaro.
Yeah. Either one of these 2 options, I'm so psyched for, because Zack Sabre Jr. can work, and both of those guys can work. So they're gonna put on an outstanding match. My thing is, I feel like it might have been better being sort of a solo debut, but we have seen sort of. I'm mainly looking at Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve kind of getting put together as after being debuted as sort of singles push, where it's it's been
About to
like
strangle some people, allegedly. I'm sorry.
So I'm a little worried on how AEW will do sort of a singles push for either one of these guys, but Blackpool Combat Club is probably the best faction going on right now. So either one fitting the bill would be perfectly fine. And I love William Regal. He is
So do
amazing.
I
He's
wish
just
he would
gonna
just
keep
lace the
shoving
boots up one more
toothbrushes
time.
up his ass.
You know,
He might for blood and
he
guts. You
might.
never know. I think
Right.
I
he's
just
gonna
wanna
take
see-
some sort of a bump.
Imagine it's William Regal that replaces Daniel Bryan. Regal versus Zack Sabre.
That's an outside chance, but I just want to see Regal come out in like the black trunks with the black wrist and knuckle tape, and just even if he's only like he throws a beautiful punch, even if he's just throwing punches
with the nuts.
with right. I just
With the nuts, man.
He's coming out for blood and guts. He will have a spot at blood and guts without a doubt. He's popping Jericho for sure.
I think that with the oversaturation of groups in AEW and factions or whatever you want to call them, that is my favorite by far whenever I watch them on television. The fact that you just got these renegade dudes that don't really belong together. I like Wheeler. Is he still in it?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was in Best of the Super Juniors.
That's right.
In
he went
Japan,
over
so
to
he was
Japan.
gone for a little while.
So Wheeler's still hanging around. He's probably the only AEW like homegrown that wasn't pre WWE. And Daniel Bryan's going to miss some time with his injuries, and that's unfortunate because AEW's had a really bad rap with injuries. I think wrestling in general has just had very bad luck with injuries between Bryan and Punk and Cody and Randy Orton. Like those are four of the biggest names in wrestling. Regardless of who you like or who you don't like, they're household names to wrestling fans. Regardless if you live in your mom's basement or you're a casual, you know what I'm saying. So it sucks, but I love the Blackpool Combat Club. That is just it's a badass name, and it's awesome, man. I've been digging it. Like I will skip through on tapings just to watch them for the most part.
I hear it. Mamba, how are you feeling about this debuting Blackpool Combat Club member?
Cesaro makes sense, right? Just because of the history, but like with Gargano, Daniel he emphasized technical, right? And like that's Gargano. And then you have the connection with William Regal as well from NXT. It makes too much sense for it to be Gargano. It just anybody else does not even come to my mind. Those two names are the only names that
they need to add a female though. They got to get a female in there just to kind of even the odds so you can have like a faction warfare.
I love factions, bro. I love them.
I do too to a degree. Not to kind of go off the AEW talk, but I'm digging Finn with his heel turn, and I'm just kind of curious as to where they're going to go. It's still early. We're not going to get the entrance anymore, and I'm a huge Balor fan, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do because in theory they're all mid carders.
Right. Yeah. I am in agreement with the women in Blackpool Combat Club. When I pitched Gargano to Mamba, I said it's the perfect time for Ty Conti to try to get involved in this in Blood and Guts and have LeRae just come running down, and it's gonna get a massive
smack her with your baby.
Ty Conti's gonna try to get involved in some which way, and that's a perfect time for if it is Gargano on Sunday, where you guys can bring her on without over debuting and trying to do too much on Sunday with Gargano, and just have her show up on Wednesday. Ty Conti's trying to climb the cage or whatever bullshit she's gonna do because she's probably getting super kicked in the face again. Because she's been on a roll of getting super kicked since Triple Mania.
She sells last things, man.
She looks fantastic doing it, though.
Yeah,
she can absolutely sell it.
She can absolutely beat my ass too, but
and you'll like it, and you'll love it.
My girl's coming back to NXT on Tuesday. I can't wait.
Nice.
Nikita's back.
Nikita will be back. We'll see how she goes, but we kind of have a very interesting match, a clash of styles. Will Ospreay showed up, and me and Mamba geeked out quite a
Yeah,
bit.
we
It
did a
was
little
quite
bit. Yeah,
surprising.
we did. I did not expect that at all.
And he's going to be going up against freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy coming back. And this is a match that I'm very interested to see how this dynamic is going to play out, because it could actually be a show stealer with all of the immense talent that is on this card. It is going to be a banger. I do believe Will Ospreay will win, and I think Juice Robinson's going to show up afterwards and just beat the brakes off him, since he has the title held hostage right now, and New Japan will run with that.
Did I just hear that?
Whatever. Is that thunder? Lightning?
That's thunder. Mm-hmm.
I hear.
I think
the
they're
weather
on
out
Will
here
Ospreay's
is
side
ass.
too, bro.
But I have Will Ospreay most likely winning this, with Juice Robinson somehow getting involved. But without a doubt, this match is going to be hilarious. It's going to have some amazing selling points, and I'm excited for it.
I cannot wait for that match. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Will Ospreay is what Kenny Omega thinks he is.
Oh, okay. And what do you believe that is?
The greatest technical wrestler on the planet.
Okay. Okay, you heard it here. It's not bad.
I have a you guys know I have a WWE bias because of just the generation I came from.
Yep.
And it's not a bad thing. You know, I still do give AEW their props when I can. But Omega is good. He's very good. I kind of sour on him more because of Dave Meltzer than anybody else. Because every match he has isn't 5-star. They're good matches.
5.5.
He's had a couple of really mediocre matches. He does excellent work at the end of feuds as opposed to the beginning. Okay. I know a lot of them are long and drawn out, and they have been for years. But Will Ospreay's probably the greatest wrestler that'll never step into a WWE ring. The dude is just good. Okay. He is flat out. He is just flat out phenomenal. And not to be sarcastic or tongue in cheek or anything, but that dude, he can just go, man. I watch all of his New Japan stuff. I've watched him in his international matches on YouTube. This dude is he's incredible. And I put him up there with AJ and Seth and Finn as that is like the cream of the crop for the men.
I respect
I like that.
Yep. Speaking of Will Ospreay, he will be in the G1 Climax tournament. I think he's in block D or C. Those blocks are fucking loaded. If you haven't seen them already, the G1's gonna slap this year. Mamba,
it always does.
Because of where we are, it starts at 1:30 to 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm old, so I'm waking up to take a piss at that time. So
about the time I'm falling asleep.
No, you're not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is actually. Okay, my sleep schedule, it might be dog shit, but 2:30, 3 o'clock.
I haven't seen those hours since my daughter was an infant.
But no, this match, I think we've said it all. It's gonna go crazy just because of how good these two wrestlers are.
I just hope there's not a lot of gimmicky spots for Orange Cassidy. Keep it minimal. Do the little soft kicks and all that stuff, and let them just do what they do, because Orange Cassidy is actually a really good wrestler.
Yes,
so
I think there's a chance that they will redo this at some point down the line, considering Orange Cassidy, while he was out with his elbow injury and their shoulder, whatever it was, he was out in New Japan. He did join Chaos and stuff like that over in New Japan, so we'll see how that goes over there.
That's Okada's group, correct?
Yes,
I want to make sure I have it.
If you haven't seen it yet, there is a picture of them backstage with Okada, and he's doing the thumb with them. It is actually hilarious.
Speaking of Okada, how you guys fangirled over Will? When I saw Okada on American television, I was like, this.
Yep.
Because he is the missing, just raw aggression that a lot of those guys over there don't have.
Yep.
A lot of their stuff is manufactured, or they oversell the aggression to kind of look fearful. But he's just a badass dude, and we all know that he is a straight monster.
Yep.
And it's not like his persona. He doesn't even really talk a whole lot. He's got the arrogance to go with the wrestling ability, and he's got the showmanship and the I'm here presence to round it all out. I can't wait to see him, man.
Hey, you brought us there, so
hold
let's
on.
talk about it, man.
That
Go
man is swagger personified, is what Okada is. That man is just straight swagger. In the ring, out of the ring. Don't need to do anything, and you know he's going to do something.
It's crazy because you can tell from that era of New Japan wrestlers, Shinsuke was the same way.
Yep.
When he first got into WWE, he just had that swagger that
he might hurt you if you mess up. You know, like he can hurt you.
And to Shinsuke's credit, that man has done everything that WWE has ever asked of him, and I'm so happy that he's like just having fun doing his thing, man. But Okada is going to be
one run for Shinsuke, please, just one. That's all I ask.
I think we're past. I think that we're way past that point.
Unless
you build him up.
I just need one from him, man. Shinsuke is so great.
We're gonna get to you, Shinsuke.
Okay,
we're gonna show you some love. But
Fatal
Matt
4-way.
brought us there, man. Okada
Fatal
versus
4-way.
the champion Jay White versus Adam Cole, baby, versus my man Hangman Page. And I am so fucking glad that they decided to do this because holy shit, hell fucking yeah. And I understand that Tony Khan's gonna wave his dick around and put the AEW championship as the main event, but this should be the fucking main event, and I will die on this hill.
Tony Khan is gonna be zooted out of his mind in the post-media scrum immediately after this match. He's gonna hit a line of coke as long as the championship belt. Holy shit!
Allegedly.
There's no allegedly. That man is Tony Montana.
I want this to be the main event. The clash of styles, the clash of characters, the built-in stories that have already been drawn out from Hangman and Cole, name-dropping Okada before he even lost the belt. Jay White telling Adam Cole that he wasn't going to defend against him because he lost twice to Hangman, and him telling Hangman that he already whooped his ass. Like, there is everything going on, and eventually we're going to get the Undisputed Elite versus some form of the Bullet Club, and it is going to be an absolute banger, and this is literally, no pun intended, the catalyst for everything that is going to happen, and I am all for it. And I want Jay White to win and pin Adam Cole just to make it all that much more fucking better.
This is one of the few occasions where I wish AEW had War Games. Bullet Club, Undisputed Elite, War Games. I would die.
Well, Blood and Guts is close enough.
No, I'm talking double. I'm talking double ring with the 2 cages, but I want the top. Don't put the top on it like they did back in WCW. I know you guys were still on your mother's tit and all that, so you know.
I've watched some old stuff.
Hey, I've gone back and watched like the entire 1990 year of wrestling, 98, like 2000s. Yeah. No,
Speaking of going back and watching wrestling, not to get off topic, but to get me pumped for the Royal Rumble every year, I rewatch all of them in the month of January. My wife hates it. She hates it.
That's a lot of Royal Rumble every year.
Yeah.
But I hear it. I definitely hear it.
It's like 35 or 36 Rumbles with the women's.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about this match because there's a Bullet Club element, because at one point in time, all 3 of these dudes were either running it or had a prominent role in it. And then you get the Rainmaker. Like,
it's going to be so great. Yeah.
Like, I'm actually kind of pissed that Tony Khan is doing what the fans want, and he's getting these dream matches out of the way because he knows he might never get them again.
Yep.
My problem is with all these matches, they all have AEW and New Japan wrestlers in each match. One company isn't going to completely cave to the other.
Yep.
And I highly doubt New Japan is going to let their heavyweight champion drop his belt on an American pay-per-view on American soil.
Yep.
So that's the only reason why I think Jay White's going to win. But I do agree that I think that he's going to pin Adam Cole. because that's the only person that can afford to eat the pinfall. Because once Adam Cole eats the pinfall, he's going to go back to playing with his little fucking circle jerk young buck friends.
That's terrible. This man hates the Young Bucks so much. I
Gotta
do
change
agree.
shirts.
I do agree that Jay
Don't
White
you
will
fucking
most
do it.
likely win this match. I will say Okada maybe has like the best slight chance to win simply because of who he is, and New Japan could be like, let's crown Okada on Forbidden Door in America, and then people be like, look how great he, and that would put him at 5 title reigns, I believe.
Yes.
Like for their something deep down inside of me wants Adam Cole to win so bad, bro. I want Adam Cole to.
They're not going to crown. Adam Cole has not
Right.
had a connection to New Japan.
Nah, for sure.
I don't think ever.
Yeah.
Because I think he
he might have been
Ring of Honor Bullet Club.
Okay.
He was Ring of Honor Bullet Club. Yep.
I don't think
But
he ever made his way
Jay
overseas.
White. Nope.
But I just want to see Okada just hit these lariats.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna be a
I just-
banger.
Yeah.
The ripcord lariat. Oh my!
It's gonna
I
be
can't
awesome.
wait.
It's gonna be great.
and then Hangman with the buckshot lariat and all that stuff. I can't wait to stream it somewhere because I'm not going to give AEW my money.
I already gave him my money.
I'm gonna give him my money.
They make it some money.
Hey, pro tip: you call your cable provider halfway through, say you lost your signal, and you get the credit on the next month's bill.
Hey, that ain't bad. That is not bad.
I know
Yeah.
Lewis is an honest guy, so
Nope. But
No, he is not.
but yeah, just one thing. Tony Khan did take media calls today. He was on a media call, and he did say that he is not opposed to New Japan winning AEW championships and vice versa. I'll take that with a grain of salt due to the fact that Forbidden Door is obviously around the corner, and he just happened to drop this tidbit. But Mamba has been all for it.
He's saying that as a precursor because it's not going to happen.
He's saying that as a precursor because we might as well jump into it. Tanahashi's leaving with the title, man.
No,
Tanahashi's walking out of Forbidden Door, the AEW champion.
absolutely not. But
It's
yes,
Moxley.
John Moxley versus
Moxley.
Tanahashi. It just feels like
This is going to be
it makes the
an
most
absolute.
sense.
This is going to be an absolute
Banger.
Yeah,
Yep.
Moxley
It
is
makes the most
just
sense.
Moxley is. There's going to be blood. There's
How
going to be
about
a
some
crazy.
guts?
There's going to be a multitude of questionable spots because Moxley has that masochist tendency in all of his matches. I don't see how they don't put the temporary, interim championship on Moxley just for the simple fact that they're not going to crown unless there's a long-term storyline. It's not going to be anybody but Moxley walking out champion.
I'm all for it. 100% Moxley, 2-time. It's very simple. I think it was very easily set up once he was declared the main event match after the Battle Royal. I think it was very clear. I am excited for this match, but
How can you not be?
I'll tell you one reason, and it's gonna sound kind of crazy, and it's kind of on Tanahashi's side. He's a lot older.
I don't give a damn.
Go back and go watch that match on Wednesday, and truly sit here and tell me how amazing and outstanding he's gonna look in the ring when he's looking rather groggy.
You do
trying
not
to hit
judge
that
a book
sling
by
blade.
his cover. It was one match,
Man,
okay, one match. It's okay.
Age is catching up to him. I think Moxley's gonna have to pull a little bit of the heavy lifting on this, and I don't know if it's gonna be as outstanding and amazing of a match. And there's another reason why I think the Fatal 4-Way should potentially main event.
Moxley's got probably one of the best finishers in the entire company, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's just a double underhook DDT," but the lift and the air that he gets on his opponents, like some of those guys sell that really well.
Yep.
And I know this is down the line, but when Punk comes back and Moxley's champion, I can't wait to hear these dudes unhinged on the mic.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
The promo battle
no,
is gonna be
no
sick.
WWE scripted promo type of stuff. I know that they're not scripted in AEW. I know that they get approval or modifications, but their past from WWE is going to come back, especially with the start of the Shield and the way Punk utilized them.
Yep.
So there's that backstory for the people that know it. I'm looking forward to it, man, and I think it's going to be Moxley for that reason. And he's the face of your company, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Everybody knows who he is, whether by Moxley or by Dean Ambrose. Everybody
Right.
knows who he is.
Yep. Without a doubt. Without
You
a
ready
doubt.
for this, though? You ready for this? I was watching a wrestling video yesterday, and it just made too much sense, right? Tanahashi's winning simply because MJF is going to screw over Moxley, and he's going to continue to screw over AEW in the end. Tanahashi's taking the title, and he's going to Japan. You don't want to give me my money? That's cool. I'll make you lose your title. I don't care. Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be the only
That would be
acceptable
very
way.
Cool.
That would be awesome.
Shout
when
out
he
Cole
comes
Holland.
back, he's gonna tell Christian Cage to shove that promo up his ass. That Christian Cage promo was definitely a lot of slight towards MJF about crying about his money and shit. It was a lot of underlying shit in there. I think that will be something in the future that we got to look
Luke
at.
Perry bit was good too.
Man was on
so
fire.
tough. So
Man was
tough.
on fire. Before we jump over to WWE,
you mentioned Christian.
Bro,
I saw Twitter
he's
say
wild.
a lot of people converted to Christianity because of him.
I'm just glad he's gonna most likely have a solid run now. I think the Jurassic Express thing ran its course. I think it ran its course.
God he got away
I
from
think
those
it's about
weirdos.
time. I don't think so. I think he's gonna stick with Luchasaurus, but I think it's about time that he gets rid of the mask.
He's a fucking dinosaur,
he
man.
begins
stupid.
I believe the transition is
It'll
coming.
be forever stupid.
Yo,
and I
do you
think
remember
Jungle
Brodus
Boy's
Clay?
coming back and going by his real name. I think
that
that's
was stupid
the angle they're
too.
going.
You can refer to any dumbass WWE gimmick, and I'll tell you it's stupid.
Agreed.
The Brooklyn
agreed.
Brawler was the only cool one.
What about the IRS man or the dentist?
Isaac
I
Yankum?
don't care about Isaac Yankum because
Yeah.
luckily he turned out to be
Kane's old
Kane.
gimmick. Oh,
Luckily he turned into Kane. But
God.
before we jump to WWE, there's one more match on the Forbidden Door card that I do want to talk about, and it's because they're probably my favorite tag team right now, and it's about to be 7-star FTR. Boy, I don't know how or why the fuck they're gonna somehow win the IWGP tag titles before they get another crack at the AEW tag titles. But I'm all for winner take all. United Empire, FTR, Roppongi Vice. Going to be an interesting clash of styles. There is technical wrestling. There's a little bit of flippy dippy shit. And there's a lot of hard hitting powerhouse shit that's about to happen. And I'm all for this match. But my money's on FTR just continuing to run.
They are hands down the best technical tag team wrestling duo in the world right now. I don't care what anybody says. I know people are going to love the Usos or Gallows and Anderson, or just pulling teams from other companies. Like
I hate it.
RK Bro. I know that there's the entertainment value and there's the charismatic stuff, but those dudes are just throwback wrestlers, and I love every second of it. I wish that Bret Hart would have actually just signed with AEW instead of going back to WWE. I wish Bret would have just signed with AEW just to be their manager, because that would have been absolute magic.
Remember when we protected you at the Hall of Fame, man?
They beat that dude's ass.
Punched that dude in the face.
Punch him in the face. They he was like a gang initiation. Beat the shit out of him.
You don't touch Bret Hart, okay? That's what we learned. You don't touch Bret Hart.
Legit. You don't fuck with Bret Hart.
FTR, though, they've got AAA, I believe, right? They got
ROH. Yep.
They just collecting the belts. So when they do get back to the Young Bucks, it's like, well, why should we face you? Well, we have 7 different companies' tag team titles. That's why you should face me. We'll put them all on the line because every company's down with the Young Bucks.
When that happens, when that happens, give me FTR, the Flippy Dippy brothers,
The Young Bucks guys.
Super
and
Dick
then
Party.
give me Yuta and Cesaro or whoever it's going to
Ooh.
be, and give
Okay.
me Penta and Ray in a ladder match and just have 15
I'm all
titles
for
hanging
this.
from a fucking ceiling.
I'm all for this.
Yes.
Sign me up.
I want
I'm
to see
down.
flaming tables and all that shit. Just go
No
all out.
broken arms this time, though,
I don't-
please. No
hey,
broken arms.
hey.
Let's be careful with these matches, okay?
I guess.
That would be
Loving
great,
it. That is absolutely amazing. I'm all for it. I think Young Bucks. It's obvious they're ladder match fanatics.
Yeah.
It is. There are, as Matt would call them, the spot monkeys. And I've said it. I love me a good spot monkey. They just so happen to be
Yeah.
some of the best spot monkeys of the last decade.
Agreed.
I am all for
Oh,
wherever
come
they're
on,
gonna
Mamba.
go.
God damn.
Agreed.
I'm all for
Come
wherever
on.
they're gonna
Oh.
go.
Hey.
But speaking of ladders,
Let's just do one show where you convince me why I should like them. Just do
Oh.
one
they do
show.
super kicks.
We can commit a whole hour one day and I can tell you every reason why they're horrible.
Hey, I hear it. I do. I love everything that they've done over the last few years, from Pro Wrestling Guerrilla to New
I
Japan.
still remember Generation
Ring
Me.
of
That
Honor.
shit sucked.
I remember Generation Me. Again, I love. Where's my shirts? No. Anyways, speaking of ladders,
It's a
Money
bunch
in the
of
Bank
midgets.
qualifiers. Let's get into some WWE discussions. Money in the Bank is July 3rd. Next. Oh, Mamba has technical difficulties yet again. Someone really wants to
Is
talk
it
to
the
this man
second or
today.
the third?
That's like the third time. Someone really wants to talk to Mamba today. But nonetheless, the men's will start there. Already qualifying for this match. Seth Rollins beats AJ Styles. Drew and Sheamus both qualify after beating the shit out of each other. And then Omos beats Riddle with yet another qualifier tonight. The name Shinsuke Nakamura has popped up yet again. He'll be taking on Sami Zayn to bring our field to 5 men in this year's Money in the Bank, with potentially 2 to 3 more qualifiers. We'll see. We did talk about that early on. But of the, I guess, 4 names that have been for sure solidified to be qualifiers and in this match, any favorites early on? Is the winner in this first field of 4, Matt?
It's gotta be Seth Rollins. His character with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Please. It'll just be the. I thought about this the other day, and I couldn't wait to get on the show and tell you guys about it. I was thinking about it this morning at work too. Seth wins Money in the Bank.
Say it.
He cashes in.
Oh, nope.
He cashes in and gets one of the titles. Him and Cody have their blow off next Mania, when Cody comes back and wins the Rumble in January.
It's not bad.
That makes a ton of sense.
If you want to talk about good long-term booking,
whatever they're going to do with these
put the WWE Championship on the line with Rollins and Cody in Hollywood next year.
Love it.
I think Nakamura's going to win the qualifier tonight, though, so I don't think they're going to put Sami Zayn in it.
The GOAT.
This shit with the Bloodline is funny.
It's the best.
The fact that in the span of 3 months he's gone from being like a Fidel Castro like caricature to getting body slammed by Wee Man to being pinned in a human-sized mousetrap at WrestleMania.
He's had a hell of a year.
And then now he's thinking that he's Bloodline.
He was even IC champion for like 3 weeks.
After Elias and Kevin Owens, he is the most entertaining person on television that's not Seth Rollins.
I can agree. Sami Zayn is probably my favorite in the WWE right now, and I think
he's been one of your favorites since NXT.
No, it's true, but like right now, if I had to pick someone, I'm going with Sami. Simply because of just how well his run has been since last year, you know.
I think I'm sorry.
No,
Go
you
ahead,
good.
Mamba.
You good.
My bad,
No,
bro.
you good, bro. Go ahead. No, I want Sami Zayn to win the Money in the Bank simply just cause, and he cashes in on Roman, and it's like
The
a
only
bloodline guy.
thing that was going to be obvious if Sami Zayn wins the Money in the Bank qualifier and then wins the match itself next weekend, he's one of those guys that is going to lose his cash in. He's not a legitimate title contender. Now, what would make it pure gold is if Sami Zayn wins the Money in the Bank and he goes down to NXT and beats Breaker.
Oh wow, that would be
funny.
Oh my
god, that would be cool because can you imagine Sami Zayn interacting with those young dudes that are like just like out of this world characters?
Do great. He'll do so good too.
2-time NXT champion Sami Zayn.
Oh God, Mamba winner is the winner in the set 4. We got Drew, Sheamus, Omos, and Seth.
There you go. Out of those 4, it's most likely Seth, right? When you were saying that, it occurred to Becky Lynch isn't in the women's, is she? Or is she?
No, she is not. She lost to Asuka. We're gonna get.
She'll somehow get in it, though, right? Like she's got to somehow get in it, right? Imagine Seth and Becky. Seth and Becky, Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank. I think
let's just say it's not going to be Omos.
No. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, for sure.
I'm also on the Seth.
If I have to sit through Omos and Roman Reigns,
you got to sit through Brock and Roman again.
Brock is so much better than.
Oh yeah, no, so much better. I don't mean.
He can actually move.
If I have to sit through 57 Superman punches to get Omos to one knee just to lose to one spear, I'm gonna scream.
Tragic.
I'm interested to see where all this is going because Omos is clearly not ready, even though they've put him with AJ and MVP in the last year.
They're trying.
Hey, his matches with Bobby, they weren't bad. They weren't obviously.
That was some of his better work because
they were okay. Yeah,
that was some of his better work, honestly. His WrestleMania match was actually kind of good. I enjoyed it.
It's what I'm hearing.
I like their Backlash match a little bit better, but I hear it.
Omos should have spent time in NXT. I don't care what anybody says. He should have been down there for a while.
Yeah, most likely. Any predictions on? I mean, we were kind of talking about. We don't know if it's going to be 7 due to the whole Vegas theme that's going on, and there have been 7 silhouettes sort of advertised since the Money in the Bank qualifiers and such began. Any thoughts on anywhere between 2 and 3 men that we might potentially see get added? Mamba, I'll start with you, and I already know one of your guys is most likely AJ. We had already kind of previously talked about this.
I don't know what AJ's doing. I think he might be doing something with Miz now.
Yeah.
Because of that whole segment. And I think Ciampa is aligning with Miz. And I don't know if I like it or if I don't. I'm so torn because of Ciampa. Most likely Ricochet, I would say. Shinsuke, he lost his IC title. He might get a rematch, or it might even just be like,
he is on tonight.
Hey, is he? Okay,
tonight.
He ain't making it in there. No, he ain't making it in there. He's getting his rematch tonight.
Yeah,
It's tough, right? Like they do have a lot of people where it's like, I hope you're in it, but there's only so many spots. Like Sammy.
I want Zeke.
Would love to see him.
I want Ezekiel in the Money in the Bank.
I want Elrod.
I want Elrod to come out so bad and just I don't know what it is or what they're gonna have Elias do or dress like, but I hope Elrod shows up on Monday.
Elias, Ezekiel, Elrod, Mick Foley, the new Mick Foley. You know how Mick Foley had 3? Yeah, as soon as they did Elrod, and it was like, who do y'all want to see? Elrod? I'm like,
they need to bring back either Sandow.
That's exactly what Lewis said.
Or they got to bring back Hornswoggle and give him.
That's terrible.
Yes.
That's terrible.
For the younger brother.
Oh, goodness. God, I said somebody from NXT
everybody. And anybody and everybody that they talk to on screen about it has to acknowledge that it's not Elias and that it's not Hornswoggle, just to see Kevin Owens go ape shit. again. Oh my god, that I'm telling you, like, it's slapstick comedy, but
Yep.
this shit has me in tears almost every time I watch them.
They
So-
do a great
So
job.
you would
of
lean
selling
towards
this.
getting Freaky Zeke in there?
I want to, yeah, Zeke, Shinsuke. Who
I
there a
else?
want
chance
Sammy
that
in it so bad.
is there a chance that maybe this can be the beginning for Finn Balor to possibly do something?
I don't think they're there. That's too early to ruin
They
the
hate him.
mystique of that. Because if you add Finn, you gotta, like, realistically give him a shot of winning. I don't think they're gonna do that. Edge, I think he's past the phase of his career where he's gonna do anything with ladders.
Oh God, I don't need to see him in a ladder match. I do not.
I'm not hearing one name yet. I'll throw it out there.
Oh man,
What
hold
about
on.
Madcap?
Oh my goodness,
I think it's too early.
that's not happening, Lewis.
He's still
Hey, he's
fresh.
not winning, but I'm talking about getting him in the match.
No, sir, not happening.
Not feeling Madcap.
No, sir.
No, I'm not.
No. Yeah. Seth Rollins looks like the favorite, no matter who they put in there.
If Ezekiel gets in, Owens needs to get his way into the match.
Agreed.
If you want to do the last three, have Shinsuke, Zeke, and
Owens.
KO, and then you'll have so many good spots in the match, especially from KO and Shinsuke because of their NXT stuff, and then the KO and Elias shit is just it's hysterical, and there's the background with KO and Seth Rollins from earlier in the year, leading up to Mania, so there's a lot of moving parts in there, and it would kind of be cool to see those guys added, even though. You kind of want like your one flippy dippy dude. I really don't think you need it for this.
I hear it.
They'll still do something crazy without the flips. We already know that. And Kevin Owens, if anything, will go up and do like
Drew and Sheamus are going to beat the brakes off of each other, and they're going to break a ladder at some point on one another.
Yeah.
Whether it's the one of them, one of these two motherfuckers is going to hurt the shit out of each other. I think.
Oh, for sure.
Someone always goes through a ladder.
Yeah, I think Drew and Sheamus is going to line up for a SummerSlam match while Drew continues to build himself to be Roman's challenger at Clash at the Castle.
I gotta ask you this, Matt, because Lewis was not feeling it when I brought it up.
What was it?
Drew McIntyre. It would be the perfect character to win King of the Ring. Because he's Scottish. They have the kings. He's got the sword. He could become like a dark king, and that builds his character like, yo, I'm a king. I deserve more. I feel like he's the best character to win King of the Ring.
King
That'd
who?
be great, too.
King Gunther. Give him the IC belt and King of the Ring on his first fucking year. I'm all
Gunther.
For it.
Dang, y'all just shitting on Drew next.
Hey.
All right,
Drew. Drew wants a match with Gunther at some point. He already said that it's gonna happen. He said it on WWE The Bump, and I fucking want it.
I agree.
I really think just to kind of give a rest and a reset to McIntyre, I think the peak of his run was during the pandemic.
Tough.
It is.
That is so tough.
It's tough. But after him and Sheamus are done beating the shit out of each other, let Drew kind of link up with somebody and get into the tag team division, kind of like a Randy Orton kind of run, where he's kind of like the powerhouse of a duo. Maybe link him up with like Ricochet or somebody like that, or
poor Drew and Ricochet, man.
I mean, but the thing is, the tag team division is losing luster when they probably ended RK Bro without really getting a payoff. I don't think that they're going to bring Randy back for that. I think that Randy's going to come back into the title picture at some point.
Yeah,
but because that tag team, as much as entertaining as they are, it's ran its course. He elevated Riddle, and that was That was the whole point of the whole thing.
Shout out to Riddle over this last few
Yeah.
weeks, being on both shows, wrestling tons of matches. Good for
Getting
him.
his ass whooped a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, did his thing. Before we wrap up the show,
Put the Viking Raiders with him.
oh god, I feel bad for those guys.
See, this is why you don't book anything, Mamba.
True. I make too much sense.
I'm dead. We have the women's Money in the Bank already qualified. We have Lacey Evans, Alexa Bliss, your girl Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, and another qualifying match set to be slated tonight is Aaliyah versus Shotzi, which should be interesting. But of this
Shotzi.
field,
Agreed.
I also agree.
Agreed.
I'll tell you what. I give her a very sneaky chance of actually winning this briefcase. I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking the way that they're trying to do something with her character. But
Give her a tank back, man.
if they're going to please
I
us,
agree.
the fans, this is the ultimate opportunity for Liv Morgan to get her shot here and run with it. I already told Mamba this is the perfect time. Strap this Money in the Bank to her. Go somewhere down the line, cash in on Bianca Belair, and let Bianca Belair take that heel turn. Because Matt, I think you can agree with me on this because you've said it before here on the show. How long was the EST, the hair waving? How long is it going to run its course and sort of be her stick for how long? And I think a brief heel turn might be a banger for her. I'm looking at the Hugger Bailey, and we've seen how that worked out for her.
Yeah.
I am
Speaking
all
of Bailey,
for it.
what is going on, man? Where is she?
She's gonna get jobbed out to
No
fucking
clue.
Ronda or
No
something
clue.
at some point.
Nah, I think she's gonna go to SmackDown, but tonight might be a good opportunity for her to get involved with Shotzi and Aaliyah. It's the perfect setup because they're both lower card women, and shout out to Aaliyah for the simple fact that she has done a whole lot of nothing in her runs on SmackDown and NXT, and she's still in the company. This girl has not been fired.
They way back like 2016, 2017, they did a thing on NXT where they were showing like the characters and the people coming. I don't remember what it was called, but Aaliyah was on there too.
She was.
And
I
she
forget what
like
it's called. I know exactly what you're
she
talking
did
about.
not tell her parents at all what she was doing. Like she'd been with WWE since she was like 18, 19 years old. She's been there for so long.
I know.
So props for being able to stay around.
Yeah, but like she didn't have like any notable run in NXT.
Yep.
She was like a undrafted free agent in one random ass draft. And it's like,
Yep.
oh, she's on television, and she most of the time she's staring at the TV in the back.
It'd be like that. Yeah,
That's the most awkward thing in the world anyway. Watching somebody watching television that you're watching is just a mind blowing.
And then try watching somebody watching TV. It's like, bro, what?
That's what she gets paid.
I like this whole how they're just keep on screwing Becky too, man. This is.
I don't want her in it.
Breaks.
I don't want her in it. I don't want her in it.
heart.
I already told Mamba she should come in when Asuka's climbing the ladder or whatever and come fucking screw her up. And then that way you set off the blow off for SummerSlam.
Tough.
But I'm honestly for the winner of the women's Money in the Bank match.
It's so easy.
I think it's gonna be Raquel.
I would love for her to win it, but I think that if they're gonna put something on her, they're just gonna build her up way better than they have for
But
most of the.
She's
So legitimately, it does, but she is just so much legitimately better than a good portion of the women on this roster. If I'm being honest, she is so much better than so many of the women on this roster.
And not to get. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say the problem is that Ronda has that title. That's the problem.
I read something. I can't remember what website it was. It was one of those wrestling websites yesterday, and I pay attention to it, and I was kind of thinking back, and the writer was completely correct. This is the most disinterested Ronda's looked in her entire WWE stint up to this point.
I do not care about her.
She had a fantastic match with Charlotte,
Two
and
really good ones.
the emotion to get the championship has been there when it finally happened. But since then, Ronda has like put forth next to no effort in legitimizing this run. They literally seems like they just put the title on her because
She's back.
she agreed to come back.
Yep.
And I can just think of like maybe 2 or 3 women right now that could be making some real noise with that championship title. That and none of those people are Charlotte Flair.
I agree.
I agree. Like I said,
Ronda
I'm
Rousey
all
is
for
the
the
worst
Raquel.
thing to ever happen to that women's
I
division.
see. You have some. Whatever your issue with Ronda is,
I don't like her. She's cool in the UFC. She's cool over there. I did
But-
not need her in WWE.
but the thing is, I just wish that they would have given her a manager because it's killing the vibe that
Paul
she's
Heyman?
not.
He should have been the one given to her.
He
Let's
should
be
have.
real.
He
Yes.
should have, but the thing is, it's way too late now because
Oh yeah,
I'm already disinterested in her run as the
Yep.
SmackDown Women's Champion.
agreed.
I'm already disinterested, and that's sad.
I never started being interested in it.
That's because you don't like her.
I don't.
I was all for her WrestleMania and
Great
WrestleMania
match.
Backlash
Great match.
matches. She had 2 really good matches, but it has been sort of weird ever since. I know they're trying to put her on TV, title matches here and there, and then she teamed with Raquel for a minute. She'll be facing Natty, which will be interesting. I think this is going to set up sort of Shayna getting jobbed out to her in SummerSlam.
Oh my
which
goodness.
I think if there's anybody that might be able to get another good match out of her, it's gonna be Shayna, which I'm all for it. There's sort of already a lot of build in there, sort of in the background, training together, stuff like that. We've seen it when Natty won the number 1 contenders match. It's just Ronda's thing is it's gonna be interesting to see. Before we wrap up the show,
No,
though,
it's not.
we have a return that's been hyped up all month long. It's the return of John Cena because it's been John Cena month. You know it. So I think we all know where this is heading. However, there's been one particular guy that's been talking a whole lot of shit, and he's the current United States champion, and it's set for SummerSlam. Most likely, I said it on the show a few weeks back. Austin Theory is coming to crash this motherfucking party.
Agreed.
Hear me out though. I like the direction that they did with him and Lashley because Lashley's
You
going
like
to
the
take.
pose off?
I'm not even talking about the pose off. I'm talking. Oh fuck you guys! But they're going to put the U.S. title back on Lashley.
Ooh.
They're going to for the simple fact that when Cena and Theory have their feud, I don't think they want to associate a championship belt with it because if you're expecting Cena to stick around for a little while, Cena's going to get a win over him. It's just how it's going to be. But if they only end up having one match, it's going to be Theory because Theory is I was talking to my brother about this. Theory is a combination of Orton and Cena in their younger years. He looks like Cena with the clean cut and the minimal facial hair, no tattoos, that type of stuff. And then you got Theory being built just like Randy Orton. And he moves like him. He's athletic like him. He's got the charisma. He can sell. Like, I understand why McMahon is strapping a rocket to his back because in 5 years, Theory's going to be the face of that company, barring anything unforeseen.
Facts. Agreed. Yeah, he probably does lose that title. It would make most sense, they had the Twitter beef, like, where he's like, I'm the best United States champion. And then he loses the title, and Cena can be like, well, guess you aren't actually the best United States champion. You could only, but that should be a solid match. Probably John Cena's best match since he's been a part-timer.
I hope we get another weird-ass Vince McMahon segment tonight.
I don't. I don't.
There's a lot of weird shit.
They were both so... That man said, Hey, this is episode like 1572.
Said it wrong.
And Cena's coming back next week. We already knew that. We didn't need you to tell us that.
I just want him to come back and like tell everybody like, hey, there's John Cena shirts for sale in the concourse on the second level, and just leave.
Right.
And to the person with the blue Toyota, your lights are on. We're out.
I don't know. There's just so much going on. I already told Mom, but I thought and I feel like it's 2 back-to-back wins for Theory. On the other hand, I think Cena will lose and do the job to Theory at SummerSlam, which will be sort of his big
I believe
moment.
that too.
But I don't think he's going to lose to Bobby Lashley.
I do. They're gonna have to give Lashley something to do.
Yeah,
Lashley's
it's
not
so weird.
Lashley's
He
never
wants
gonna,
the WWE title.
Lashley's never gonna be hanging in the balance too long. He
So
transitioned from being a champion to in the main event to fighting Brock Lesnar at the beginning of the year to being hanging around with almost and kind of elevating his stature a little bit. And now he's back into the U.S. title picture when he was the one that was the champion when they changed the design. So
Yeah.
he's coming. He hasn't been irrelevant in so long that I think that's their way to keep him relevant is to put him as a mid-card champion. And then he's going to start facing the lower card, mid-card guys going forward. I mean, I could see Lashley doing the Invitational, the Open Champion, the Challenger.
That's so tough. I love how every time the face gets the U.S. Championship, they're like, we got to start it up again. Yeah, whoever wants it, come on. Like, it was great when Cena did it because we got KO to come out, and like
stomp on the title and all that.
A shock like that would be great, but I don't see anybody down in NXT that could come up and do the whole stomp on the title, actually beat John Cena. Like, there probably are people, but I just don't think it would be as
Give me Breaker and Lashley.
That'd be good.
Give me Breaker and Lashley.
Title.
Speaking of NXT guys, did you see that Brooks and Jensen won the UK Tag Championships?
I sent that shit to Mom, but he said, what?
With a U, not an A, because what? What? Yeah, no.
When they said that they had a championship match because I think one of the guys got hurt. And then I'm sitting there looking on Twitter, I'm like, is that the country boys from NXT with UK championships?
Are they going to be on 2.0 with those titles? Are they going to strictly be UK? Because they are on TV like every single week.
I don't know, but I'm kind of pissed that Fabian Eichner is an Italian now. So
isn't he already Italian?
No, I thought he was.
I have no idea.
I could have sworn he was already
he was
Italian.
Like German or Austrian. I don't know.
Austrian's Gunther. And then German is Kaiser. Yeah, Ludwig. Yep.
I
didn't think that he was Italian.
I thought he was. I thought because he was in the Cruiserweight Classic. Mm-hmm. So, of course, they had all of the, they're from here, because it was a lot of people all around. I'm pretty sure he had the Italian flag next to his name.
Then that was a dumbass comment on my part. Either way.
I will say that I looked at him, I was like, that's Eichner. Yeah. Is that Eichner?
And then they changed Jordan Devlin's name.
Yep.
JD McDonough.
Fucking hate that shit. So stupid. It's so stupid.
Kaylee Ray's
He's gonna
new
be
name,
fine, but
Kaylee Ray's new name still upsets me. I don't even.
Nope, I love it.
Alba, bro. Alba.
I absolutely love Alba Fire. I absolutely love it. I love it. But whatever. That's gonna do it for us here at RGTP. Matt, let the folks know where they can find you to tune in to your amazing stuff.
Thank you. You guys can find my content on Twitter at BWATB Podcast. Check out some of my latest episodes with some former Ravens players, Marcus Douglas and Anthony Mitchell. I had a show this past week with a fellow content creator, TJ McKinley. He's in one of our groups. Good kid, nice young man. We had a nice chat about all things NFL. Didn't know he was a Browns fan, and I was just trashing Deshaun Watson. And I'm gonna be having the show with my boy Devin Wilkins this weekend for his first published children's coloring book. And yeah, man, thank you for letting me pump up my stuff. I always enjoy this. It's almost that time of the year where we're gonna be talking shit on Rave-On.
Yep.
And they seem
We're
like they got
getting
some,
there.
shout out to Rave-On Sports. They seem like they're going to be having some really good shit coming down the pipeline in terms of the app.
They're
And
working hard over there.
that's the first place that ever gave me a blue check, so I'm going to honor them forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Hey, I hear it. But make sure to tune in on Wednesday when we talk about all the crazy draft stuff that's happening from the NBA. We're also going to be giving out some predictions on where some of these free agents are going to land. Then next Friday, tune in here when we geek out over everything that's happened for Forbidden Door, and we do some Money in the Bank preview show, and we're going to talk about who we think is going to win once we actually get all these qualifiers set up. Matt, go for it.
That kid Jabari was pissed he fell. In the
Yes,
draft.
he
Oh
was.
my God.
Yes, he
And
was.
then the Rockets drafted him. Oh, good luck, guy.
Yep.
Hey, the
Mamba,
Rockets had a
let the
good
folks
draft.
know what
Like,
they got to
comment,
do,
share.
man.
Like, comment, share, subscribe, notifications on, follow. I don't think I've been saying follow, but no, it's
I know, man.
subscribe. It goes hand in hand.
Hey, hang around.
We're done. We're done. We got
Hang around 1 second. I got to tell y'all something off air.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay.
We out.